Hi, it's been a while. How's it going, people? Yeah, we're live for once on the channel. We're doing a full series breakdown between G2 BDS this week. And just checking my stream on my phone, as you do, for sound, but I don't need to keep it on all evening. So that's pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna take my headphones out. I've got my chat on one screen because I finally got a double setup for my laptop to stream. My main PC's monitor actually works with my laptop, and I've got an extendo screen, so I'm doing double streamo, vacation Mimo. Yeah. Nice bottle of water to get us through this one, but yeah. Looking forward to this. G2 BDS, the series, and we're getting into it straight away. Draft time. It's been a while since I've actually covered any real top games of League of Legends, but yeah. New patch for playoffs. Jinx, Leona has been rising up in priority. Talia, another big pick overall for most teams in this region. But the double ADC meta, and something that G2 tend to be whipping out a lot this year, is this Tristana. Now, it could come out here in the bans. Rel getting banned off removes a lot of engage. I think Naught has to be a priority now in terms of the engage. Alistar as well. Big picks left up and available for these two teams. Triss gets removed, so realistically speaking, you probably are going down the ADC pipe hole. So first pick wise, G2 can either go for a jungler, secure themselves an AP jungler, and then pivot two ADCs through. But Hansama's Draven is up. But this is the other big pick on these past two patches. Sejuani offers a lot in terms of her kit. And it's the fact that you can double stack the Everfrost and essentially just pop people with how it works. Essentially, she's very good. She's strong Warmog's meta right now as well, so she gets locked in. Talia Zeri, I mean, you've got an AP pick that can be flexed between jungle and mid, so that's always nice. Zeri, very strong currently in the meta for ADCs because you just get the extended attack speed buffs. Usually you pair it with something heavy and engage, but looking at the options, you either have Naught as an option, which is probably going to get pinched, as well as a... what's the other one? Alistar again. Braum is also a good option, but it depends what gets let through into pick 4, because if you know BDS, this pick is for top. It's always top last pick. It's how they've drafted all year, and it's kind of a standard pick ban maneuver for them. Sedge, Lucian, Caitlyn. So G2 have a lot of siege with these two picks. A lot of ways to get through all of their kits, and as a whole, it's a very strong combination of champions. What I will say is there is obviously a chance that some engage options get removed. Naught's actually picked up here for BDS, which is nice, so they can remove some of the safety tools away from G2. And I mean, the thing is, Sedge can be flexed in G2's comps. They like Broken Blade to maybe play it. But Yike can also play on this champion as well. The other options are... Well, they've banned out the Zyra, fearing obviously the flex. But like, Brand is up and available for G2 if they want to do it, because they are heavily investing into AD with these two picks, and obviously it's Lucian mid, Caitlyn support. As a whole, there is a lot of AD. Topside map, you kind of are going to be suffering, and I think G2 probably won't go AP top. Gragas, I mean, I wouldn't say is in Broken Blade's wheelhouse. He's more so the carry-orientated player. He does, if need be, play the tanks in the Sion and the Orns. But no, I dare say it's probably going to be a AD option or carrying the top side. Jax up and available. You've banned out Renekton yourselves. Renata comes through, so you get a lot of lockdown. And Aatrox, the carry option for Broken Blade, into Viego, which is quite nice. I'm looking at it, and options-wise, if you want to play this top lane matchup and just play for late game, you go for a tank engage. It's Mundo. For a Dom, I mean, I'm not a big fan of it in the long run because a lot of G2's damage is consistent. Mundo does well against burst, and G2 don't necessarily have that much burst. It's more so long iterated damage. I mean, don't get me wrong, you just build armor and you're fine. Thornmail probably early is pretty good into the Aatrox matchup as well. But to be honest with you, G2 as a whole have a very solid draft for themselves that does lack AP. That's my one concern. But they've got a lot of range with the bot lane. Mid's going to have a lot of, I'm not going to say a pressure, because Talia can farm pretty well. But I will say that as a whole, G2's ability to side lane siege late game is very strong, and playing away from the BDS draft is probably the name of the game for G2. So there's that for you. I'm also gonna just do something real quick, because this is actually pretty loud in my ears. So there. Turn that down. I'll bump it up here. And into the game number 1 we go. I've got my big screen this time, so I can actually look at the minimap without having to go, like, and look in on the tiniest little screen possible. But yeah, we've got minimap. We've got the summoners on screen right now. Nothing out of the ordinary. Grasp Mundo, very strong in terms of farming up. Getting the extra health. Probably will rush Warmogs, though I would like maybe Heartsteel. He's one of them champions that benefits well from Heartsteel early, compared to going Warmogs, because his kit has an innate Warmogs ability in that ulti, and teams realistically should learn to play around that more than they do. However, it's not very punishable, what I would say. So, started off, Dom's doing the nice smart play of just marking Yike, not allowing him to farm. Because bear in mind, Mundo cannot be CC chained with that passive black shield in his kit. He also has the extra health, and with him just bullying Yike out this topside map, means that Broken Blade's susceptible to the lane swap, and as a whole, it makes it really hard for Aatrox to play lane, especially now that he has blown Flash. And yeah, Adam's just been a nuisance. Continuing to farm. Good work there by Sheo to actually get the blue buff and this side jungle cleared. And the big thing about this is, with how Adam's played this early game of just keeping this jungle in lock, it makes it so that Yike is realistically only getting this jungle that I've highlighted down on the bottom of the screen. And yeah, immediately Sheo comes over, joins up with Adam. Adam's, yeah, losing out on XP. But you look where Broken Blade is. He's zoned off the wave. He's fearful of the dive that's being set up because, as you can see here, while Adam's finally showed, you kind of are now hinting that Sheo's over this side map. Broken Blade is not getting anything out of this. Sheo has just allowed Adam to walk up to lane. He's just killing off tower. He got a few poots of XP from the minion wave. And now that all of BDS have kind of backed up, Broken Blade's done this smart. He's probably realised the timings on everything. Just looking into the river, there's no wards that would have spotted Sheo leaving. So, as a whole, he's done well to recognise, okay, BDS have backed away here. I could just play a standardised lane. Now, what I will say is, while all of that was actually happening, the bot lane for G2 was obviously getting for themselves a little advantage. CS remains fairly even, but the plate, I believe, didn't go over. Wow, okay, so not really much was gained. I just think a lot was burnt in terms of CS away from BDS's bot lane. Because realistically speaking, the gold advantage being so slight in favour of the Caitlyn at the time didn't make much sense, as the engage comes through, Renata lands the handshake, just denying any follow-up from the Zari. But yeah, to be honest, BDS, I don't know how they're at this state of game, considering the gold, but now the bot lane's starting to open up in gold, the CS advantage, because Zari showed up. Mid lane, Cabs is getting a little bit too aggro. Both mid laners have TP, so they can join up whenever in the lane. This could be a good roam from Labrov if it wasn't spotted out, because it would have probably put Caps on the back foot. Is still going to walk up here. Nearly lollipop the hook. Not able to do so, so Caps gets out, but as a whole, still worthwhile. Deny the back out of Caps, don't give him the reset he wants. And yeah, to be honest, there we go. A fairly well-worked play, sure. Give over a little bit of pressure to G2, but it's minimalistic because Zeri already had garnered herself an advantage. Bot lane, there's the possibilities of play. 4 members of BDS down here. Flash is going to be burnt out from Mickey. Hansama forced a flash over the wall to get away from the Weaver's wall. And that was overall a well-worked play from BDS. They invest minimal stuff. Obviously, the sums out of Labrov used there, but TP was obviously invested by Nuke to go to mid. He's just used the Weaver's Wall to get pressure down bot side, which has actually done a lot of work because it does mean that BDS gets secure early Drake. Infernal Drake, quite strong, current meta. A lot of poke, a lot of damage. And I'm going to be honest, it is a pretty nice thing to grab for yourself. And now Sheo just walks straight up to the top side. It is going to contest these grubbies because they've not spawned yet. And this is something that I wish teams actually did more. And it's an interesting thing. Drake spawned earlier than Grubs. So, outright, you could quite easily secure Drake after making a bot play, then path immediately up to Grubs and secure them. Not many teams do this, and it's interesting because you'd expect them with the early game power of certain junglers, and obviously the ability to combat one another. You'd expect them to maybe punish it, but they don't. And instead, it ends up with an objective trade that we see far too often. Now, right now, G2 looking for the objective play of their own. They get the flash out from Mundo, and this is kind of the caveat of BDS going for Grubs. They swap down here at Dom because he can hold the lane. But the issue is he isn't able to survive it as Caps is going aggressive mid. Culling going to be fired out. The Talia ticking down. Yike. Will he go over the wall to secure it? He hasn't got ulti. Gonna just deny the back in the end. So Nuke gets out with his life, surviving the G2 mid laner's burst. But to be honest, what's interesting to me about this matchup is how much this Caitlyn is doing. She's behind in CS slightly, but you just look at the tower damage. 0 plates lost down here versus almost all of them on the tier 1 bot side. And it's pretty big. But you kind of have to give a lot of credit then to Ice in how well he's farming. Staying ahead of Handsummer, pretty good overall. Does mean that he does get to his first item quicker. But to be honest, the gold lead that the Zeri's got kind of being heavily negated by Caps right now in the mid, who's sitting nicely up probably a full component over Nuke. And when I say component, I mean like a longsword over his opponent. He hasn't backed recently, I don't think. So probably quite close to buying up a other item. Obviously, BDS right now setting up for second Drake with 1:30 on that clock. No kills going over, surprisingly, yet in the first 10 minutes of the game. And it's surprising in a G2 game that there's been no bloodshed. And that's with Caps playing this very aggressive pick, as mid lane there's going to be a charge forward from Yike, getting jumped on immediately, stunned up and rooted. Handshake comes through, and the massive hostile takeover allows for Mickey X to bail out his jungler. It's first blood over to G2, but it's a 1-for-1 trade in the long run, as, wow, Yike secures it, and so does Sheo. Overall, a solid fight to kick off this game from both teams, and I'm really hating my shoes right now. Caps going aggressive into this play, will die to the tower, and it's a 1-for-1 trade yet again. The two teams keeping even in the kill score, but that play is actually going to hurt Nuke a lot more. So we watch this fight again, immediately targeting Nuke, gets the flash out, and now just that hostile takeover, while it hits all three, doesn't do too much. It's actually the handshake from Mickey that makes the play a G2 favored one, because of the fact that he just gets in, pushes the two targets together, stunning them up. It allows for time for Yike to just get the bailout and get the secure in reviving himself, which, if it turned out well as, yeah, Nuke's caught out. This is a CC chain of doom that G2 tried to play for, where they traded kills. But that's the thing. G2 probably could not have made that play if it weren't for the fact that Yike burnt Nuke's flash in the initial one. So G2 punishing Nuke's playstyle as Labrov could be caught out here. Handshake's going to land, but a good buffered hook gets the Nautilus to safety. And yeah, I am taking my shoes off right now. My feet are hurty. I've got my work shoes still on, so we'll work on that. Ugh. There we go. But yeah, as we were saying, Nuke's just getting punished every time he tries to step up into lane. The Sejuani cooldowns are so low that he can get away with it, as he is actually going to fall here as mid lane. Caps is being ran down here. Sheo going to land the damage. The bailout comes through, but Caps is unable to get the revive. Bot lane, Hansama will secure the tower, and this is the interesting thing. The CS lead, while it's massive in favor of this Zeri, she's still not able to put Hansama in the dirt just yet. The Caitlyn staying even in terms of everything, as she's just able to secure turrets. And we watch this fight again. It looks good for G2 initially. Nuke tries to step back up into lane, gets hit immediately with Glacial Prism into culling. But the reply from BDS is there. Ice leaves lane because he knows he can't sit bot side because the Caitlyn is just sieging and killing his tower. So he makes the roam play happen to team up with the rest of his cohorts in the jungle and the support to just secure a kill for BDS. It's a well-worked play overall from BDS, realizing they can't get anything down here, so they just make a play or respond to G2's aggression here. And we are starting to see both teams positioning down this bot side. Drake up on the table, and so are Grubs, to be fair. Actually, it's not Grubs anymore. I think it is Herald. So only 3 Grubs are going to go over to one of these 2 teams this game, which kind of surprises me, to be honest. Anyway, BDS stepping forward towards this river, and Hook going to go wide. They're looking for the pick, to be honest. They're very much so looking for that pick. And the interesting thing here is G2 are just trying to wrestle back control. They're not wanting BDS to enter the river and get this objective. The dragon stack needs to be stopped, so they're going to just bully out Ice. The culling and the ace in the hole are going to be used to just do a lot of damage. But the hook comes through. They've caught out one member, and it's Mickey who's going to fall. The Renata not tanky enough to survive the engage. Sama forced to 90 caliber net over the wall as the fight continues on in mid lane. Yike's going to be caught out here, but it's actually Caps rapid firing into the damage. Yike stays alive, and it's 2 kills over to G2 with mass amount of damage coming out from them carries. And I don't really need to say much more than that. They focus the jungler when there's 2 ADCs just standing there, able to fire out. Broken Blade going aggressive. Gonna get Adom's ulti in a 1-for-1 trade, but look at that healing coming out from Broken Blade's autos. That passive heal that Aatrox has in that kit is very, very strong. And once he gets that Sundered Sky, it's going to do a lot more work. Anyway, we watch this initial fight. Ice just gets chunked, and Mickey steps a little bit too far forward. Hook into Seismic Shove under the tower. He tries to bail himself out, but it's kind of a waste. Hostile Takeover also used. He just tries his best to get everything out. Anyway, here, targeting Yike. You don't go for the jungler. You've got Caps here, just free firing in. Hansama was free firing in, and the bigger thing is, Hans was able to secure the mid lane tier 1, which got him a bit more gold. And the thing is, Zeri, 2 kills, sitting quite nicely. Hans is doing so much more work in terms of securing objectives on the map, and this is the big thing and the point that I was wanting to make earlier about Void Grubs. Typically, you'd expect G2 to have gone for them here, as TP flank's going to come through. That's going to be Broken Blade joining up with the team. They look to have caught out Lebrov. The Nautilus has finally fallen, and the first kill for Hans Sama comes through. Obviously, with the Collector in his back pocket, going to make securing them kills a little bit easier. And that's probably the big power spike that Hans has been waiting for before he can realistically take over this game. Sure, it's only a singular item, but it's a big one. And it gets the extra gold, he gets the ability to just do a lot more damage. The critical headshots, just so nice when you've got Collector. And I believe G2 gonna do quite a lot of work here. Denying the stack of the Drakes, securing that mountain. It's an Ocean Soul that we're playing for. These two teams obviously probably won't mind Ocean, one of the stronger Drakes, as Broken Blade gonna 1v1 here nuke. He has got Flash, gonna be forced to use it, and this Aatrox finally has Sundered Sky online. Not really gonna give a care or a crap about anything that Nuke will do to him, because he just heals it up in spades. Regardless of that, let's take a look at the rest of the map in terms of gold. Obviously, Sheo has a slight advantage, the only advantage in terms of lane matchups that BDS has, and to be honest, minimalistic, similar to the top side. One full camp would probably give the advantage back over to Yike, which is kind of impressive considering the Sedge is a full, well, 15 CS behind. Anyway, top side, Sedge is actually making a play here, and it's going to be a kill, possibly over to G2. It's going to be the Talia yet again punished as a double kill comes through to the Sejuani. She will give up her life though, and the continuation of the play can come through here as Caitlyn has shown up. The shots are firing in from both ADCs, and Caps secures them both. It's a double kill to Lucian as he takes down BDS's squad. The full ace for G2 as well. It's unfortunate that they lost Yike in that play, because they would have gone straight to the Baron. But the big thing is, Broken Blade didn't show up to it. He stayed bot sieging. And this is the issue. Broken Blade made the 1v1 play onto the Talia. Here. Gets the flash. And that just means that whenever Nuke shows up, Yike's there to punish, as this time it's just Broken Blade punishing. Gets the auto, flashes out from under the tower, barely surviving. Gonna go for the trade as the heal comes through. That's a massive amount of health coming through from the auto. The Sundered Sky does work, and he's gonna win the 2v1. Broken Blade breaks in half BDS's top side on the map as the jungler and the mid laner fall. And with the Viego down, no one can contest this Baron. BDS are going to have to give this one up. And they're looking for what, to be honest, at G2. This is G2 turn it on past 20 minutes, to be honest. And I'm going to be truthful here. A lot of it is coming down to Nuke getting punished twice. He can't step up in lane. He knew Broken Blade was down here sieging. So the fact that he showed up and immediately jumped on should not be a surprise to him. That is a massive healing proc from this Aatrox. And he plays this matchup well. And I'm actually going to just come back a few seconds. I just saw something. No. So I want to go back to the pro view here. This is the interesting thing here that Mickey does. Just look. You see it here. They highlight the mid laner's flash. So Broken Blade is well aware he can make this play, because he knows that Talia's escape tools is what? Weaver's Wall. Well, she can't mount it if you hit her with a Q. And the fact that he played Vision with the brush as soon as she stepped up here into range of the Q, basically there was no chance of an escape for Nuke here. So Broken Blade realistically played well with the knowledge he had from his team, and he punished. Granted, he did, I think he was the one who actually got the flash early, but this is an issue and a warning towards BDS. This is 2 times now that Nuke has been punished in the space of 2 minutes. It's not the first time in this game, because we literally saw it where Yike got his flash out with the Glacial Prism, and then 2 minutes later, repeat gank. And he brought the Renata as well. G2 are specifically targeting Nuke in this game. And it's noticeable with the fact that they're just sitting waiting for him to overstep. And the big important thing is, the kills aren't just going on to one member. They're being split up between multiple. And G2 are just thriving through it. Because right now, Broken Blade, a lot of gold in his back pocket to make the outplay. And there you go. G2 with Baron in the backhand. They're going to continue to siege as they're looking to get more here. Adom's Mundo really has felt useless in this game. Not able to really get much on the map. And you kind of have to look at his build right now. Warmog's first item. Building into probably Heartsteel. So very little resistance. So other than the health, he can just burst through a target pretty well as Brov flashes over the wall. Gonna use the seismic shove maybe here. Talia gonna push him back, but not gonna get him over the wall. The massive healing coming through from Broken Blade. Looking to outplay this one, but it will not be enough. He is shut down, but G2 on the other side of the map will secure the tier 2. And they possibly could siege for more. They're not going to. Just gonna reset. And BDS get some gold back. A massive shutdown. I'm pretty sure the kill went over to the Viego. But to be honest, you couldn't really ask for any other target to really get the gold. Bar say Ice. Talia needs it, I guess. Being punished quite a lot here. Is I'm pretty sure that is first second item picked up here for Nuke. An item ahead actually of Caps, which is kind of surprising considering. No, he's not an item ahead. Caps is a full BF sword ahead. But yeah, Ocean Drake secured by G2. Just coming off the back of the Baron. Gonna get all out as down now. And this is where the power of the Caitlyn can come into effect. Sieging with Caitlyn is very good. It's very strong. Because you can... Oh, hi Herald. That's not even gonna get a crash. But essentially, Herald sieging is pretty interesting. Because... Not Herald. Caitlyn sieging is very interesting. Because... Admittedly, it comes down to trap lines and how you section away enemies. If we're G2 wanting to go for this, we'll just use this area in the map as the example. You bring the Caitlyn to the bot side, you set up a trap line. Presumably here, you're probably going to need 3 to do that. Out of your, 5 traps, you drop one here, and then here, maybe, or here, somewhere over here. You've got options to basically create a trap line so that you you don't allow enemies to step up and kill your cannons when you have Baron. So there's about here just pewing down your tower. Caitlyn's range might be long enough to hit the tower freely, unabated, but that's a different question. But it's an interesting nuance to sieging, and it comes down to map control and area control, and I want to focus in on G2's vision on a siege, and we can look at Broken Blade right now and the rest of his team. They're stepping up top, securing a bit of vision for himself, while pushing back BDS in the mid lane. This pushback here forces BDS to group up as 4, while G2 secure vision in this area of the map. Broken Blade is now sieging, pushing the wave in, and G2 begin to push for this tower. Get a pick onto Labrov, which is just damage landing because a handshake hit. That's the simple way of wording it. But G2 now just playing on 2 lanes. They siege in top, get the kill, and now that they've got the man advantage, they come into mid when the wave crashes in, secure the 2 towers. Because, let's be honest, outside of Labrov, what engage do BDS have? Heartbreaker, maybe. Mundo has no engage tool, he just runs at you. Seismic Shove. Realistically, a lot of the engage tools that BDS have are reliant on this Nautilus to land his kit. And if he's not there to do so, G2 just get free reign to step forward and push you back. And the interesting bit is, this game is very much over. It's been over for a while. And it's due to the fact that G2 are probably one of the only teams in this league, and this is testament to how they play, that's just willing to just step up and push and contest you at every stage of the way. Like, without Baron, well, they got Baron, secured outers. They've just used a wave in the top side, killed your support, and then pushed them, got the mid lane inhib. They just step forward and contest, making it really hard for the opposition to kind of do anything against them. Anyway, back to the action. Heartsteel secured as Shao just gets hit by massive auto from this Caitlyn, and the Weaver's Wall came through kind of pointlessly there. Didn't really do too much, and G2 just get a free kill on the jungler. Now there's no smite, which means Baron secured, which means G2 get to siege again. Granted, they have been non-stop sieging, but it's like BDS really haven't been able to do too much to stop it. And that's down to realistically the inability for them to stop it. So, what do I want BDS to do? I want them to try and punish side. Now, look at this. G2 investing 4 members top. Caps cleared out bot wave, now is sieging, realizing, hey, it's fine giving over an objective bounty on the bot lane tier 1 to a Dom. The Mundo really doesn't benefit from getting gold. So we're just going to take the tier 3. And Mundo finally recalls as the inhibitor falls. It's late, and G2 have this Baron siege still going. They're going towards this Nexus tower. Labrov misses the hook, meaning he just gets chunked. Realistically should have died. And G2 just continue to harass members. Nuke chunked incredibly low. Ice is very low as well. Hansama stepping forward, force the flash away. Maybe a little bit too close for comfort. But now BDS finally have a bit more control, because Labrov obviously healed up on the fountain. He can step back up and try and make plays. And G2, look at this, they're splitting up, forcing members of BDS to go on different ways as Broken Blade flashes over the wall, avoids the seismic shove, and yeah, he's out. Flash burn for his life is pretty good. So yeah, G2 back on the siege. The thing is, I'm just stating the obvious, but while BDS invested Nuke, Adam, and Labrov on the chase of Broken Blade, G2 group bot and have forced into this inhib tower. They've secured a kill on support, meaning no engage, so no threat to the backline anymore for G2 to worry about. So they're just able to clean up on the fountain. They'll focus the Nexus towers because then they can clean up the kills. And to be honest, BDS just have kind of done nothing this game. They've got 8 kills for themselves, but it's like, do they really deserve it? I don't really think they do. They've just played so stagnant and behind the curve. The G2 get an easy game 1 win. And it didn't feel like there was any competition there at all. So we get to move into game 2 with possibilities of something new from BDS and possibilities that G2 do something to counter it. So away we go. Draft number 2 of this best of 3, and we'll probably see the same bands. Rumble from G2, they don't like Jinx, and Rumble. It's just a carry, top laner, AP, just restrict the pool, force, because let's be honest, Adam's pool of champions, if you think about it, the only AP pick that he really plays is Rumble. The rest of them are AD. So Broken Blade can realistically just play tank and do well. Leona, Sedge. Sedge is the first change up, which means that Zyra gets to slip through as Caitlyn's removed. So G2's pro, Trist. It just has to be. It's the cap special. If Trist was banned, he'd probably go back to the Lucian, because I think G2's prior on Lucian's pretty high. There you go, Triss comes through. Response, Zari, maybe? Again? Safety, maybe? Xayah? Talia. All up and available for BDS's picking. And I'm gonna be honest. Corki gets locked in, okay. So change up here, Corki into Trist. It's an interesting one. Zyra comes through. We haven't actually discussed Zyra yet. The rise of the AP jungler. It's an interesting meta. Because of the fact that double ADCs are very prevalent right now. The Corkis, the Tristanas, the Lucians, all being played mid. It allows for junglers to go for the more AP orientated carries. The Brands, the Zyras, all can come through. And G2 actually are going to go for something a little bit more different. The Maokai coming in. And Maokai is interesting because of 2 things. One, you can either go for the full AP tick damage build with the Leandries and the Blackfire Scepter. Don't remember what it's called. Or you can go for the more tankier option where you just survive and be a frontline menace and just have a lot of healing with your Q and your passive. So we finish out round 1. Ash coming through for G2 as their ADC. That was actually removed in game 1. So bans probably going to stay the same in phase 2 with the support still open available. Nort, Braum, Rel is already removed, so you are looking to the likes of Rakan, Alistar. I always think of this as a Alistar angle. With the Zyra, you want multiple wombo combo CCs. The Pulverize is one of them wombo combo CC tools that's, I would say, a little bit easier to execute than the Grand Entrance. Because the Grand Entrance, well, yes, it's the Headbutt Pulverize combination in one. The Pulverize is certainly a lot wider, and it matches the kind of width that the Zyra one does. So at this level, people are more likely to be able to guarantee the Headbutt Pulv combo every time. Plus, you're more likely to also flash Pulverize rather than go for the immediate headbutt. And that is certainly the power of this comp that is being offered here by the Alistar. I certainly prefer it over the Rakan. G2 side of things, I mean, Poppy is a good angle here. You got the Zeri dash to be removed, the Alistar headbutt, yeah, and the Corki Valkyrie. But this is also a reason why I went for the G2 series as our matchup of the week. Seraphine gets locked in. My waifu is online. And yeah, if you don't know, I'm just going to do that. And just point right there. There's my Seraphine statue. If you've watched me before on my streams or in videos, there's a Seraphine statue up there. A poster up there. I'm not going to go into it, but yeah. Let's get back into this. Seraphine locked in for G2 with a Jace alongside it. Again, G2 lack AP in their comp. And that is something of note. Now, what I will say is there is still the potential for a flex. Now, G2 are known for flexing pretty much everything, but Seraphine can be played mid. I wouldn't say it would be, considering Tristana is a cap special, but Triss could go ADC, Ashe support, Seraphine mid was an option G2 have here. The fact that G2 go for probably the more standard of options makes the most sense, but they are very susceptible to add-on. Game 1, Adom really did nothing. The Mundo was very passive, offered really nothing, because, let's be honest, BDS did not teamfight. So the Mundo's impact was negated because of the fact that they didn't try and go for fights. This game, he is the fight. And it's the fact that BDS have double engaged this game, which makes it a lot better for them. And essentially, I'm really interested, because if the wombo combo can come through, chances are BDS will win this game. The issue is, getting the wombo combo against G2 is probably going to be hard, considering the fact that G2 did not give them a team fight last game. G2 just sieged and won. So, there's that. Anyway, looking at the runes, Comet on this Malphite, so he is going to be looking to trade quite heavily into the Jace. As LeBron's going to actually secure some vision. They will actually get the ward here, BDS, so I think that's worthwhile. Flash invested by Lebrov to get to safety. Obviously, the cow does have Hex Flash, so not the biggest of punish from G2, because it's probably the worst summoner they could have burnt. But still, they get a summoner out of BDS, so there is no real flash engage coming out from the BDS bot lane. So that does technically mean that G2's bot lane can play a lot more aggressive, and it's also a reason why we're probably seeing this lane swap coming through from BDS. And that's another punish onto Broken Blade, maybe. Ignite dropped, gets the flash out from BB, who's probably just going to be queued down. Dom's just going to deny his back. So yeah, this is not very good for Broken Blade, who's been frozen off the wave and just not able to reset as his health is being chunked. Force a TP out, but the good thing for G2 is... well, no. The unfortunate thing... well, actually, yeah, a good thing for G2 is Labrov didn't have flash, so he couldn't flash headbutt or pull to secure the kill. Instead, he had to Hex Flash, so I would say that's worthwhile. Good, I guess, work from BB to realize, okay, the bot lane of BDS is going to hit level 2. I need to be out of here. So he TP'd out. The issue is, he's been frozen so far off this wave. Game 1, as soon as the BDS bot lane left, he was able to step up. Game 2, he isn't. He timed it slightly off here, as Ice hadn't backed yet. Labrov's taken a cheetah recall and is back on the map quicker. So, to be honest with you, BDS are certainly punishing G2. And what I say punishing, they're punishing Broken Blade. Now, the issue is obviously 3 members of BDS have kind of been grouped up for the majority of this time, whereas Hansama and Mickey have kind of been left alone to control this side of the map, and they've managed to get themselves quite a bit of gold as Caps. Going to be jumped on, forced to rocket jump the wall as Nuke gets hit by the explosive charge. Not going to be jumped on just yet, but to be honest, mid lane's starting to get a bit more scrappy. Bot side map, still a slight advantage to Hansama. And that's coming out from plating. 3 full plates was secured there by G2's bot lane. And that's the interesting thing here, is the Dom's just going to run down Broken Blade. We don't really care. Essentially, the story of this game right now is Malphite versus Ashe. As the headbutt pull comes through, Mickey forces a flash away. G2 just back it up. Nothing more. Nothing less. Just Sona burnt out from the support. But to be honest, we get back to talking about the story of this one. Broken Blade hasn't really got that much impact this early game. He's been negated by this Malphite, who's burnt his... basically burnt his health bar due to the flash trade. Now, Hands could be run down, force the barrier. Essentially, the battle is of the bot lane. And Hands was able to freely get 3 plates for himself, whereas Ice kind of was able to get much, because BDS's target during that time wasn't the tower. It was denying CS from Broken Blade and XP. They didn't really get much more than that. And maybe that's an issue, as Broken Blade being ran down once more by this Malphite. Yeah, he's dead. Malphite just needs to land the Q and he gets the kill. Simple. BB finally has flash, but it wouldn't have really resulted in much because Adam could flash follow. No real escape there for Jace. But it does result in G2 getting 3 Void Grubs for themselves. So, continue forward. This game, fairly even. Mid lane, we haven't really discussed it, but they're about even overall with one another. A slight CS advantage, I guess, for Caps, but it doesn't result in too much. Instead, the possibilities of a gank play, Nuke will be will spot out Yike, who was trying to step up, but it will just mean that the Corki has to play a little bit more safe. And we said in game 1, Nuke's playstyle was very on the edge, getting punished for it, as that's going to be a massive unstoppable force out from Adam, and he's got himself another kill onto Broken Blade. 3 now in the 1v1 matchup, but bot side, Nature's Grass will tag up onto Labrov. The cow's being sacrificed here. G2 just chipping away at his health bar, and Hans Sammer will secure the kill. G2's carry on the board. And this is the issue for BDS. Heavy play into Adam. Sure, it's granting this Malphite an advantage, but Hans Sammer and Mickey getting themselves a lot of gold over their counterparts. G2 are giving an advantage over to 2, while BDS are giving it to 1. And the big important thing is, and if G2 play it smart, they will never group up in terms of when they team fight. Caps will play off from Hans, and Hans will play away from both him and Mickey. As mid lane, Nuke's getting jumped on, the explosive charge going to come through. That's a massive buster shot out from Caps to give over a kill to Hans Sammer. G2 get another kill for themselves, this time onto the jungler. And now you start to worry if you're BDS, as the kills are being spread out across the map on G2's side of things. It's not isolated in just one lane. Caps is on the board with an assist. In fact, 4 out of the 5 G2 members were involved in that kill. The only one that wasn't was the guy that's really out of this one in Broken Blade, but that's fine. The 4 other members of G2 can step up. And this Lucian, well, this Jace, his poke will stick once he gets to 2 items. In fact, it'll stick whenever. There's no real healing or sustain on BDS's side bar the Alistar passive. Whereas G2 obviously have the Seraphine with the W shields to kind of heal up or protect their carries. To be honest, it's a solid setup for G2 that they can play a lot of range and away from this Malphite and just keep him at bay. Mickey's doing a good job here to deny some of the grubs. And I was actually interested about this earlier, but haven't really had chance to talk about it. But it is going to be a Summoner Eerie Seraphine. If you haven't seen it, there is a build that was famous in Korea on solo queue where you go first strike. And essentially you get so much extra gold due to the Seraphine passive of the high notes that just every time you hit someone with an auto, it does a lot of work. And you really are quite powerful. Now, something we've actually failed to talk about is objectives in this game. G2 have actually secured for themselves 6 Void Grubs. Now, in Game 1, I would have genuinely expected G2 to have been the team that went for Grubs and focus and got 6. They weren't. They gave them up so that hands could just siege freely. And that is a pretty powerful thing, as Brov gonna jump onto Yike. The root comes through from the Zyra. Mickey just gonna stand there, protect his jungler, allow for the back. So no fight gonna come out there, but essentially this game G2 have the grubs, and I'm gonna be honest, Caitlyn traded for Triss is quite even in terms of the siege. So I would say G2 siege in game 2 is, I'd say, slightly stronger. So 6 grubs, very good for them. Minute 20 until Herald, so there is stuff on the board for them that realistically they will try to play for. Now, comparative to game 1, neither team have focused the Drakes, which does surprise me. Obviously, Drake power is quite low on current patches, but if you think about it, Drake spawning earlier than Grubs gives you something to at least go for when you're in a static period of time. Like this. Go for the Drake. I get that you're wanting to siege and maximize your turret plating if you're G2 with the Grubs, but like, the ability to make a play on the other side map is there, and it's kind of disappointing. Regardless, the two teams kind of want to fight for this Herald. BDS are wrestling control of this river. A root comes through from the Seraphine, chipping away at Adom's health bar. Doesn't do too much this game. He has gone for some fire cape first, so a bit more armor in the starting build for him compared to a last game. And he is going to probably be a little bit more of a menace as this one goes on. Finally, BDS going to trade back the tower that G2 got early for Herald though this time. The issue is BDS are quite far behind on the plays, as realistically speaking the tower could have come down earlier. Anyway, Cap's being jumped on by Adom as the Unstoppable Force gets Buster shotted away. A massive arrow comes through from Hansama, and the headbutt pulverize combo is flashed out of. Caps gets away with his life, but Adam does not. G2 punish the Malphite in that top lane and get a shutdown over to their jungler. It looked like Malphite was just going to run down Caps. It felt like it was, but in the end, the G2 mid laner reigned supreme, and it's through a massive team play, to be honest. Mickey could be caught out here. Could be rooted in place. The Zyra ult. That is unfortunate by Labrov. I think they would have killed the Seraphine, but they do anyway in the end. To be honest, they could have got that a lot quicker, as Yike now going to be caught out here. BDS gonna get themselves 2 kills. Ice just tipping away at that Leandries, but will not fall. So, where are we coming in? Okay, so Caps' outplay. He uses the explosive charge. So he hasn't really got rocket jump resets. He uses his first one there. Good buster shot to push away Adam from him to buy space. And yeah, you just see all the pings coming through from G2 to allow Caps his escape. Hans Sammet perfect with these arrows to allow for Caps to make the outplay. And yeah, we don't get to see the play in the mid lane, but I honestly think Labrov might have misplayed that. Headbutting away, Mickey, is another arrow fired out. It will land onto a Dom, and he has no escape. Unstoppable force into the wall. That's a yikes. That's on cooldown now. For a while. Be up before the next objectives, but still. Summer is on point with these arrows. I guess is the point we'll go for. Hitting them in the face as G2. Caps. He's clean with that rocket jump. It's why he likes this champion so much. The ability to buffer knockups, stuns, by just creating distance from you and your opponent. He's really good at it, and this champion is just very strong at doing so. It makes it really hard as Hans Sammet denies the back from Labrov, the cow, unable to escape. And the Oscar goes to G2 for selling the fact that they had no vision in that brush and getting the punish. So as it stands, 5 kills apiece. The gold in favor of G2 by a considerable amount. And you kind of have to think, well, where's that gold come from? Pretty simple is the answer. Stacking of the grubs have led to objective control as, hi Herald. And Sam just going to crash that into the wall. And that's actually messed up this Herald play. Because now G2 can't charge it into this tower. I like what Yike is doing there. He's delaying the push of the Herald. So, if you don't know, you can kind of slightly delay minions and or moving PvE elements of the game by just walking through them. And delaying the Herald there to probably buy a bit more time so that the minions crash at the same time was the aim of the game for G2. As Ashar going to be thrown out, Labrov going to be forced to ulti as his arrow comes through the wombo combo. The bounce house from BDS isn't going to result in a kill just yet. Instead, the unstoppable force finds Hans Sammet. Mickey probably going to be the next to fall, and BDS get themselves 2 kills. And G2, they get absolutely blown apart. The carry that's been on top of this game finally killed off here. The 3-1-3 Ash gets punished. And that's G2 over chasing a cow. It's Caps. Gets a Valkyrie out from Nuke. The flash to avoid the headbutt pulverize. This Alistar gonna be losing this 1v1. The rocket jump forward. Caps secures the shutdown. And he's looking to continue the 1v1. He's stepping up. The rocket jump in. Labrov. Will he survive the 1v1? He will. He gets the shutdown. But Caps does not care. The kill doesn't go over to his counterpart. The support gets gold. But Caps gets paid in riches. He outtrades Nuke and just does the damage needed to allow G2 to now siege the mid lane. Because guess what? Labrov's low. He's forced to back. So it's essentially a 3v4 on the map that G2 just get to siege through. They've immediately already got Broken Blade sieging topside. The tier 2 in their sight. But Wave kind of being forced out already, so G2 can't really contest that. Probably it's actually going to stay for it, so that's quite nice. So G2's going to have a push in topside. Drake's up in 10 seconds. Probably expect BDS to maybe path down for it. I think Lebrov's going to put his ward down in the Baron. Just secure Baron vision. Don't allow G2 the ability to sneak it. But that's actually something that we need to point out. Look at all the vision for BDS. 1, 2, 3. Essentially, if G2 step up through this blue side of the map, BDS will secure, well, have knowledge that G2 are trying to contest this Baron. Good Q there from Yike. Don't really get to see it too much, but he denied the headbutt pull by doing so. Brov forceful as that's the unstoppable force immediately popping Mickey. Ice gets the kill. But G2 on the other side of the map, Broken Blade securing for himself a bit of tower pressure. Yike now going to be jumped on again. He lands the Q, and now G2 turn. Desire ult's going to be thrown down, but here comes Ice over the wall. He comes crashing down, gets himself a double kill, but Caps is still standing. He secures for himself a kill, and Yike also does work. Broken Blade TP's in to allow Caps to get the triple, and TP flank comes through from Caps. He's hunting. He sees Nuke once more. This Corki being punished every time he steps forward. The Buster Shot won't secure the kill. Instead, it's the hammer being brought down by Broken Blade. And G2 ace out once more BDS. And simple as you like, BDS over chase into G2's jungle and get deleted for it. Essentially, Yike plays bait. As soon as Lebrov tries to headbutt forward, immediate Q denies it. It's interesting. Sheo gets targeted by the Maokai to not allow for any more grasping roots to come through. And that just means that Caps gets a free fire in without really anyone stopping his advancement, because Adam used his ult, so there's no unstoppable force. Headbutt was denied. Lebrov probably pulled the net. I didn't actually see. So the only real CC was on this Syra. So negating her ability to fight is the most ideal thing G2's jungler could have done. And that is the G2 team fight in a nutshell. Cause havoc, kill the necessary people. As there's an arrow. Bye bye, Sheo. Jungler down means Baron goes over to G2. BDS will secure themselves a tier 1 in the mid lane. And probably bot lane tier 2. But G2's response is quite quick. Nuke could be punished, but no. G2 just going to try and clear the jungle. Get the vision back in their side of the map. Knowing that if they leave any vision, a possible TP flank can come through from BDS. Anyway, noise in the background gone. Dogs no longer barking. Let's continue on. Simply put, G2 starting the siege. They've got Baron in their back pockets. Going for this bot lane tier 2. Camps in the mid wave. Starting to siege up. I'm just looking at the lane assignments from BDS. They're being split across the map. Can't stay in mid because Caps are just sieging. Ice is forced to respond to that. Bot side, G2's 4-man lineup, sieging. Nuke being chunked away as he tries to clear the wave. And yeah, G2 just doing a lot of work here. 2 outers down. The top tier 2 left up and available as Caps is going to be hit by the Unstoppable Force. Gonna rocket jump to get away. He just buffers everything. He did that so goddamn well. Now G2 looking to siege for the tier 3. The Mouth Kai ulti gets thrown out. Seraphine's encore goes wide as well. But G2 chipping away at Nuke's health bar. That Corki gonna be forced to Valkyrie back to base. G2 still chipping away at this top bot lane. Tier 3. The mid lane also going to be a possibility as Caps is joining up with the team. 5 members of G2 towards this tier 3. Keep your eyes on Malphite, whose ulti is almost back off cooldown. But G2 will secure the tier 3. And now the possibilities of a fight for BDS are brewing. Labrov on the side, hunting for a flank angle. But Caps shows up, pushes him back to redemption. Gonna top up the health bars of G2. Along with the Seraphine empowered W. The beat drop, I believe it's called. Just gonna deny any form of damage to G2 in that play. Baron falls off. G2 get themselves an inhibitor in the bot side. And now they're probably going to turn their attention to the other 2 in mid and top. Just looking at G2's rollout. With Drake up in 30 seconds. Adam obviously has got TP, so he can look for a TP flank. But there is no ward for BDS to go for. So G2 going to continue to chase. Ash Arrow goes wide. BDS, now's the time to make a play. Soul Point will go over to G2 because there's no contest out from BDS. They're just setting up for the Baron. 1:30 until that objective is on the table. They're actually sieging tier 2. G2 reset in response. Their bot lane coming. Yike off to the side, ready to drop a Nature's Grasp if need be. Broken Blades actually showed up, but Caps has seen Nuke. Gets the flash out yet again from the Corki. But topside, that's the TP denied. Dom not able to escape, flashing into Nature's Grasp. Yikes. Kill secured by Hans Sammer. And the top laner's gone before the Baron spawns. He will just be up when that spawns. But he won't have ulti as Caps yet again winning the 1v2. Nuke, you can't win that one. We've already seen it once before. And G2 are unrelenting in their pressure now. Broken Blades finally showing up to the party. The damage is sticking. That poke from the EQ combo doing a lot of work. And now G2's happy little mid laner, the Yordle that won the brawl, steps up and steps into the siege. The Nexus towers in the sights of G2 as the minion waves come crashing into the base of BDS. G2 hunting for a pick. The Nature's Grasp thrown out, and that's going to be a route down. Status is forced out of Sheo, who's immediately taken incredibly low. G2 will secure the first Nexus Tower and Labrov goes forward. It's a kill over as Hans Sammer falls, but the Nexus Towers are down. BDS's base is in tatters as G2, whose health bars are the ones that are actually falling. The base of BDS is surviving. The Baron is up for them. But Camps is still alive. He could backdoor. The Nexus is open. BDS not gonna catch out this Yordle just yet as Yike secures a scuttle. G2 have full vision of this Baron, by the way. Brov trying to play bouncer, but Cap shows up. Buster shots away this Alistar. The bomb gonna take his health bar incredibly low. And the secure for Yike. G2 are somehow winning this one as Caps gets himself a kill as well. G2 looking to end this one here. As the TP through from Broker Blade, he sees Sheo's health bar. It's ticking, burning. Pop goes the Zyra as the bomb from Caps blows him apart. This massive amount of damage from the 4 items, Tristana, doing work for G2 as Caps has been unrelenting in this series, punishing his counterpart time in and time out, but he's still punishing everyone else because of it. Just sitting on the side by himself, he's 1v3ing. And he's still winning. Nuke, you cannot win that. We've said it before. He's never going to win against Caps. The massive encore only lands onto Adam as Mickey falls. But the base of BDS is falling to pieces. Caps is unstoppable as Ice falls. And so does the Nexus. As G2 beat BDS 2-0. That wasn't really much of a series. It's surprising that, I'm going to say this right now, this series reminded me very much of a T1 series, where it was one fight and done. There wasn't really any fights through the entire game. It was picks. Or sieging from G2 in Game 1. Nothing really came from it other than they picked off Nuke, they pushed, they got an objective. They pick off a Dom, push, get an objective. Simply put, G2 just played the game at their pace, didn't allow BDS to play their comp, and just won outright. There's no easier way to explain it than that. The game was crisp, clean, and concise from the beginning. And no matter the fact that G2 didn't have AP in their comp really at all, I'm actually just going to bring up on my screen the actual itemization from the teams to win that one. G2. It's surprising that G2 KC was the longest game, by the way. So here we go. G2 BDS. I'm just looking at on GOL. I'll just go over to that. I didn't mean to hit that one. I did that one. So I'm just looking on GOL at this. Looking at the build, Randuin's Sunfire, Abyssal Mask, I guess so that the Zyra can do work, but like, G2 had no AP. I don't like that build. Like, Abyssal Mask, was it 3rd or 2nd? So Abyssal Mask was 2nd. I don't like it, to be honest. It's really reliant on Shao to not be bursted out by G2. And we saw how Caps was playing. He was just bursting out the carries. Like, immediately focusing Nuke. Unfortunately for Nuke, he really was only able to get 2 items. Trinity Force, we don't really class Manamune as an item anymore, because it just, you basically have a tier, that's it. But to be honest, Caps just like ran it. Look how, like, compared to like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 backs, 3, 6, 9, 10 backs. Okay, Broken Blade had a lot of backs, but Nuke's backs were like a lot. Caps is like concise to 11. So he really just played what better. Mickey's backs a lot. How many control wards did Labrov buy that game? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 control wards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So about the same. But I get Mickey didn't actually place them. Neither did LeBron place the last ones. But yeah, to be honest, the buys, minimalistic. Like, Shao's build, components. He could have had a third item, to be honest, there. Probably would have been a bit more beneficial than the anti-heal one. All things considered, because... Yeah. I didn't realise he actually got RFQ. RFC, sorry. Anyway. This game was very one-sided. Just want to see damage that Caps did. $38k. Yeah, no one was anywhere close to him, was he? Jeez. Anyway. Fun series. We've got more coming up this week. I will probably make a prediction video this time. Yikes. I thought the series began on Saturday like normal this week, but they didn't. They started on a Friday at an awkward time, so I couldn't make a prediction. So yeah, I hate the LEC changing timers. Regardless, Dunsky for tonight. A nice one to end out this week for me. I'll see you guys on Thursday, I think. I don't know. I'm going to actually look now. Do I need to make a video? I think it's Saturday, it's sad. Yeah, Saturday. So you'll get a normal Friday video. See you guys then.